Morning everyone, and welcome to another video from Max Scraps. Today I am going to be using 3 prompts to create a layout for Hey Little Magpie for their International Scrapbooking Day. So I've made a list of the things that I'm going to use because otherwise I'll end up forgetting. So I'm using a sketch from the Love of Pretty paper. I'm using the colour challenge from Pretty Little Studio, which is to use kind of a coral, a teal and a yellow. And the actual layout is for, it's create a layout with no people in for Hey Little Magpie. And that layout is from Giselle at Hey Little Magpie. So for my photos, I've chosen these 2. My daughter is a prefect at her secondary school, and the head boy at the school, I don't know if he bought them or if it was just his job to give them out, but he gave all the prefects a little duck with this good luck duck on it, in a little bag with a thank you and then the school prayer inside it, and I just thought it was really sweet. So those are my 2 photos with no people in. I've picked 3 distress oxides. I've got peacock feathers, mustard seed and saltwater taffy. I've picked these papers out from Pretty Little Studio, and I thought this one would be good because it's got the yellow in. I've got some coral on here, and this has got kind of all 3 colours in. I've got this one. And I've also got this one. I don't think I'll use them all. And then I've got 2 circle templates from Bramble Fox. I've got a 4 and a 5 inch one, I think it is, or 4 and a 4.5, and then this one is a 5 and a 6.5. So those are the 2 stencils that I'm going to be using, 2 templates. And then on my little embellishment tray, I've got some stars from the Love is Kind collection. I've got some tags, which are from the You Are My Sunshine collection. I've got some little cut aparts, some stickers, and then little ephemera pieces that I thought I could use. So let's get started. So I've got a piece of white cardstock. And the first circle that I thought I would use actually was this one. So I thought this one could be my circle for the top there. And I might actually rotate it so that my bigger and smaller circles go down here. And this has got words in like accomplish, joy, priority, and I thought that kind of fitted with the fact that my daughter's doing her GCSEs now, and that's basically why they got the good luck ducks from the head boy. So I'm going to cut this one out first. And maybe that could go down there, and I'm going to distress the edges. So that would go down there, and then I thought maybe this one for the next smallest circle. Just get a pencil. Draw around that one. And cut that one out. Okay. So that one would go maybe up there, and then I'm going to use this one for think I'll probably use this paper. And I'm actually going to cut it out from the middle, because then I think I can either use that as a border or I can use that as a circular piece for a layout. I think that's roughly in the middle. Okay. I'm just going to move that to the side for a second and get out my craft knife. And I'm only going to do the first little bit using the craft knife, and then I'll get my smaller scissors. And the circles in general kind of all disappear off. So they're not complete circles on the layout, there's a little bit to cut off each one. There we go. I'm going to bring this back in. So on the sketch, there's kind of a big circle there. That piece would maybe go there, and then this piece would go in the corner, but I think the circles are slightly bigger. So I think I'm going to do that one there. I'm going to use that as that one, and then I'm going to cut another circle, a slightly bigger one. Might do it that big actually. There we go. So I'd have that one there, that one there, and then I'm going to have that one down at the bottom. Like that. And then I could even, bear with me a second, I'm going to trim down my piece of paper just ever so slightly. I'm going to take 1/2 inch off each side. Like that. And take the branding strip off here. Could have that in the middle, that one there, that one there, and then that one there. Yeah, I think I prefer that. Okay, so take this bit down. It's a little bit high at the top. See, this is why I need a T-square ruler. I think I've cut that very straight, have I? Yeah, that'll do. Right, so I've distressed the edge of that one. I'm going to distress the edge of this one. That one's going to go up there. So what I thought as well was that I would draw around the edges and maybe do a little bit of inking around the outside, just very gently like that, just to give me an idea of where they're going. This one. Roughly around there. And this one just roughly around there. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the yellow, which is the mustard seed. It's just to give it a bit of a halo, really. So that's the yellow one done. And then for the bigger one, I think I'll do the peacock feathers. Kind of there, and then my last one is saltwater taffy, which I'm going to use this paintbrush for this one. And it just fills up a bit of that blank space on the page as well. There we go. Right, I'll get these stuck down. And then I will trim those edges off. Okay, there. And this one, I'm thinking actually, let's move this down a little bit. better. And then I'll just get that's better. Yeah, happier with that. And then just cut these extra bits off. There we go. Okay, so that's the first bit done, and then the photos on the sketch go kind of like that. So that's where I want my photos. I thought I'd back one on this corally orangey piece. White needs trimming a little bit. And then I don't think that's not going to be big enough, so I'll use my circle that I cut out and didn't use. Those really, I could do that. Could have that as another circle. No. Right, so need some foam on this bit. Stick that on there like that. And then on the sketch there's a title piece there, a title here, and then some little sort of subheadings. Just move my brushes back out of the way. So I'm going to start off by putting down some little stars on here. I'm quite liking that one. And that one. And I've got a smaller yellow one. Could maybe even stick one in there. peach one. And I think I'll go for another blue. Do that. Do the yellow on top. And behind. On there, and then have a look at these. So I quite liked You're the Best, Count on Me, because she's a prefect. Count on Me. Friends Forever, because she's also really good friends with the head boy. That one could maybe go on there because it's facing the other way. Timeless Bonds as well, I quite liked. Put that one there. I did have one that said Friendship, I think. So that could be, it's not a very big title, but it could be a title that went there. I have got my these titles as well, which could be a bigger option. Let's see what we've got in here. Cheers to Us, This Is Us, Kindred Spirits, Perfect Pair, You and Me. That's quite nice, heartwarming memory duo. Always There. Growing Up Together. Maybe Heartwarming Memories is quite nice. And then Always There could go up there. There. And then I'm going to stick these down. comes forever there. Maybe friendship on top of the stars. And then there are a few stars around the actual photo, which I quite liked. That one, and then a yellow one. I put a couple up there as well. Like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to have a quick look at the stickers. So on here I've got better together, like family, irreplaceable, happy moments, inseparable bonds. That's quite a nice one. Group of friends. That's another nice one. And through thick and thin. That's a nice one as well. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do is to do a little bit of a doodly border around the white bit. And then just put on a couple of squiggles. And that is the layout done. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like what you've seen today, please hit that like button and also the subscribe button. I'm on 32 subscribers now, so the numbers are going up. And please drop me any comments, any questions you've got, or anything that you'd like to see more of, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day.